Welcome to Tuesday. It's April 1st. No Foolin' 2025. Your day weather podcast brought to you by ConversCountyTourism.com. Feel the energy of Converse County. Explore Douglas's Railroad Heritage, Ayers Natural Bridge, and the Jackalope Legend. Glen Rock boasts scenic trails, dinosaur history, and small town charm. Plan your visit at ConversCountyTourism.com. Well, the animals are getting out a bit more now as seasons are changing, but it's going to be chilly, cool, and unsettled all week. We have a very disorganized low-pressure system over the western United States, and this is going to kind of spread out the energy over a lot of real estate. So no one's going to really get a lot. It's not going to turn into a big, intense storm, but it's going to stay cool and unsettled right up into the upcoming weekend. There'll be pockets of rain and snow on the plains, pockets of snow up into the high country region, and we are going to stay cool and unsettled through the weekend. Now, next week, we're going to have maybe a possible warming trend. I'm still very skeptical on what the models have here at the end of the week and over the weekend, but we'll see what pans on out. A lot of weather, as you'll see here in a moment, all across the western United States, from the east side of the Sierra Nevada to the mountains north of Craig, Colorado there. You can see those heavy, thick, dark clouds, and great shot there. Some low clouds along the east side of the Bighorn Mountains yesterday. Now, yesterday I showed you this awesome photo. In fact, it was this one right here from Nathaniel of the cloud right up on Grand Teton there. Great wave form of the air going up, getting forced up over the mountain peaks there, causing that wave to form. Just imagine the wind going along where you see that cloud there. Then we had a closer look at that from Clark, who was up there skiing in Garnet Canyon in the Tetons. So two great perspectives of the same cloud. Thanks for sending those on in. There's some great mammatus clouds as those showers, and as you'll see in a moment, some strong thunderstorms popped up yesterday across portions of eastern Wyoming and western Nebraska, but all the way back into Payson, Utah, showers and thunderstorms. So you can see the breadth and the scope of the geography here of the unsettled weather across many areas of the western United States, and then up into the Black Hills of South Dakota. Then rain, sleet, and snow reported with this shower in the Laramie Valley yesterday afternoon. Then we had some pretty good buildup. As temperatures got a little bit warmer east of the Continental Divide yesterday, we had this energy and moisture coming from the Pacific. The air aloft was pretty chilly yesterday while it was getting warmer closer to the ground, and there we had some really good cloud buildup east of Cheyenne there. That ended up blowing up. So you can see an anvil. So you're looking at that photo saying, wow, it's June or July. That's a scene that you see a lot as you get into late spring and early summer. We had our first, at least in this area, real severe thunderstorm that developed over western Nebraska yesterday evening. Thanks, Jan, for sending these radar shots in. But you can see the blow up there just along the Nebraska-Wyoming border. And we had 64 dBz, which is basically a very high reflectivity hit from the radar. And you can see the box here of the severe thunderstorm warning that went out for it. Now, there's one good reason why. The radar was seeing a lot of reflectivity. Yes, there was some very heavy rain coming down, bringing some beneficial rain to that area right there, but it also produced some hail that got as large as 1.5 inches in diameter. Yeah, folks, we're entering into that time of the year where we're starting to worry about hail. Thanks to storm chaser Dan Fitz for going out and chasing that last night. This was just 9 miles north of Kimball on Highway 71. So get the stuff out of your garage. This is the time of year you have to start worrying about putting the car in the garage at times. We're just getting into that season now. Beautiful shot there from northern Wyoming of the sunset. And now I have happy news to report. I want to thank everybody that signed up all across the western United States, but the final results are in. Minnesota wins the traditional category for the most signups for the 6th year in a row, but Wyoming did it. Way to go, guys. There was a huge surge of signups over the last few days, taking it right up to the end there, but you can see Wyoming finishing number 1 per capita with 52 new signups. So thank you, everyone, for signing up. and taking part in the volunteer rain gauge network. Now, as we take a look at the surface map this morning, you can see the fragmented area of low pressure across the west, and the satellite really shows that very well. Not one organized swirl of clouds, but lots of patches of moisture, instability, strong jet streams aloft, and very cool air aloft as well, causing a lot of instability. So what we're going to have across a lot of the country is pockets of a lot of weather. Very heavy rain in this part of the world here. More wind, I'm afraid, for the southern plains and southern Rockies. But you can see there's a large area here of winter weather advisories from the Black Hills through the mountains of Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, a good chunk of Montana's western mountains. And we're going to have a late season snow event up here across the northern plains. So the weather getting pretty busy across the nation this week. And closer to home, you can see winter weather advisories in effect for the higher elevation. So if you're going to go over a mountain pass today, really, if you're going to be going over a mountain pass for the next 3 or 4 days, you're going to encounter some wintry weather. So here's your disorganized 500 millibar trough from Western Canada throughout the Rockies coming on through, and it's going to stay somewhat fragmented. So we're going to see the pattern by Thursday looking like this. We start to see a low getting a little bit further south, and some of the pieces, so to speak, ejecting back up into Canada and the Great Lakes. Now, if these two would come together, we would have ourselves a very large early April storm. But right now, the computer modeling wants to keep them separate. But with this trough overhead, between now and Saturday, it's going to keep conditions cool, moist, and unstable. This is the precipitation forecast through 6 p.m. on Thursday. So you can see across the Dakotas here, across Montana, there's a trail here of some heavier precipitation in the form of rain and snow. Here's your snow chances up into the mountains, and you can see all the green here. So there's going to be more opportunities for rain showers, a little bit of isolated thunderstorm activity, and just unsettled cool weather throughout the west and into the central plains. And you remember a week ago when it was so warm? Well, this is for the next 5 days. This is the temperature anomaly. So it's going to be back to some very chilly conditions here for the first 5 days of April. And this is what the snowfall looks like between now and Thursday. Now, as we get into Friday and Saturday, we're still going to have to contend with this. The low pressure system is going to slide down into New Mexico and Arizona here, but it's still somewhat connected. It's not cutting off from the flow like it looked like it might do. As long as these two systems work together and move together, this will not become a significant spring storm. So we still have to watch it. I'm not exactly 100% sure I'm buying what the models are selling here, just because the time of year you'll get these lows that end up pinching off and get left behind and cause unsettled weather. But if it does move in one whole piece, this will allow this high pressure ridge to come in late in the weekend and into next week for a nice big warm up. So we'll just have to see what happens here. What the good news could be for you folks down here is moisture. So with the low going down further south, southern Colorado, the Panhandles, southwest Kansas, and New Mexico could end up getting some beneficial moisture. We'll see. Like I said, some question marks on this, but this is an area that could really use some precipitation and might be in line to get some more. Have yourself a good Tuesday. Don't fall for any April Fool's jokes. We'll see you tomorrow.